Hello, and welcome to A Thought from Jeff. Today's topic that we're going to explore is forgiveness, the fast track to success. Now, in the last episode, we looked at abuse and the messages that are hidden within the various forms of abuse, and that healing is coming to understand and believe a new message. Now, I'd like to explore that a little bit more today and in light of forgiveness. I made this little diagram, this little drawing here to help us understand a little more clearly how abuse and limiting beliefs that come from them actually affect us. So down here is the abuse. This is anything that caused us to believe something less than the truth about ourselves. That truth being our infinite potential, value, and the fact that we are loved and can love infinitely. So abuse, let's rehash that. Abuse is anything that causes us to believe anything less than this truth. So often what happens is an abuse comes and a message comes with it. Maybe I'll never reach my dream. I'll never find what really is fulfilling to me in a life vocation. I'll never be able to love somebody else the way I think I should. I'm limiting our relationships. There are all kinds of messages that come from these various abuses. Some abuses subtle, some huge and obvious. But there are these messages. So often what happens is then when this message starts sinking in that we never will be, we never can get where we want to go. Those are those other lucky people, but that's not me. I'm just doomed to this present level of thinking and acting. What often happens is when we start thinking that way, we start associating with other people who think that way, because that's where we feel we belong. We can have a drink with them, we can pat them on each other on the shoulders, make us feel like we belong in our limited belief system. Then what happens is we perform in a limited way because we believe in a limited way. And then we get subpar results. Our results aren't really what we want. They're not the best for us, they're not the best for the others around us. But when we get those subpar results, then that comes back to us and says, see, that's what you always get. That's all you ever will be. That's who you really are, is this subpar person. Your results confirm it. But what started it, those results came because of believing this message, this limiting belief on our potential, our value, our ability to love and be loved. Now, you see a lot of people, some of the most diligent people in the world, some of the ones striving the hardest to get up the corporate ladder, to get this position, this title, whatever, they look like they're here, but they're still down here. They're still trying to prove that this lie, this limiting belief isn't true. And they're striving, and they've got high blood pressure, and they got heart issues, and they're stressed all the time. They can't sleep well, and they're stressing out everybody around them. You ever worked for a person like that who had something to prove to somebody themselves? They will ride you like Seabiscuit, and when they wear you out, they'll throw you away and get somebody else. And yet they never have any peace. They never achieve here. Because you know what? This isn't an achievement. This is a reality that has to be accepted. It's not an achievement. So the question is, and you may say, well, Jeff, you're a coach. Why are you bringing up all of this? Because this is what I know. A coach wants to find out where you are and where you're trying to go, and then pursue the most appropriate steps along the way to find out what the next step is and what you can reasonably commit to that's going to get you in that direction, and then follow up with you and reevaluate and keep helping you move forward towards your goal. That's what a coach does. But this is what I know. Our progress toward our goal is going to be much slower when we have these limiting beliefs that often come from these abuses. That's like trying to get to a goal and having a big iron sled filled with heavy metals and junk and scrap, and throwing a big chain over our shoulder and trying to drag it along when we've got these beliefs about ourselves that aren't true. The journey is going to be tough enough without that. So before we embark on the journey, let's shed the things that are hindering. the lies we believe, the limiting beliefs that have come from the false messages that we've received. So let's find out what when you're feeling your best, when you're feeling the most empowered, when you're feeling that you've got the most potential, the most value, and that you're loved the most, who are you around? What are you thinking about? What are you listening to? How can we add more of that to help strengthen this belief and diminish this one? Now, this is where forgiveness comes in. As long as you believe that message you received about you is the truth, you'll never be able to forgive. You're going to resent it. You're going to be tied to it. You might try to prove that you're better, and you're going to wear yourself out doing it. Forgiveness comes when you start to know the truth about you. Because once you know the truth, then you realize these people, they had no idea who they were dealing with. They were operating from their own broken world and their own broken perspective, and they had no idea who you were. So now that you know who you are, you can let that go. You don't have to engage it. You don't have to prove that you're better or different than it. You don't have to prove anything. You can live from fullness rather than toward fullness. And you're going to reach your potential and your goals a lot quicker. In the next session, we're going to explore this more on a business level, how this affects our business level. Thanks so much for joining me for this thought from Jeff. Look forward to seeing you next time. Make it a fabulous day.